Hey everybody, welcome back. That's right, check it out. We got the new Bonanza from Durafly. V-tail. It's the hand launch. 3S powered. Yeah. Nothing else on the box, so we'll pop the lid here and check it out for the first time together. There's how she's packaged. You can see everything in there, taped up well. Durafly makes some amazing airplanes. This one is no exception. Some other people have been able to get theirs in the air before mine. Got theirs before me, so I'll do my best to get it flying ASAP. It's currently pouring outside, so I'm out in the shop here doing this morning. Got a little wing, pretty cool. I got the trim tab molded in there. Servo's on, the linkage is already on, you gotta love that. Anyways, we'll get all the pieces out here and then we'll unwrap them. Just do an initial little check, make sure everything's kosher. And looks really cool. There's your little V-tail. Gives it such a unique, cool looking flight. Gotta love that. And the main attraction. There she is. Let's just go ahead and take that off of there. Look at that. Super cool. I think it looks great. You've got your big hatch here. Pops off in the back, little magnets on the sides. Very cool. Your battery will go down into here. Everything you can see is easily labeled for you. There's your battery connection, and there we go. Let me get the rest of this stuff out of the way and we'll get busy. Nope, I forgot one thing here. Here is a couple more little bits. You got an aileron Y, your taileron or your tail surface connections, wing screws, and the belly skid. Don't forget those. But that's it. You can see we're good. Okay, we got everything out of the box. Here's the whole airplane. Not really too much to it. You'll be gluing on here. You'll be gluing the wings together and the little skid onto the bottom. And here's your little goes right in here. Hopefully you guys can see down in here. There's a little tiny metal, kind of a V-spar, I guess we'll call it. That goes in there for the dihedral. But let me go grab my glue and we'll get to work. Okay guys, just doing a little test fit here. So you glue the wings together and this little holder goes into the front here. And that's what's going to go into here to hold the wings in. Mine doesn't seem to squish together quite 100% here. I don't know what's going on there exactly, but once you kind of put her together, I think what I'll probably end up doing is I'll get the glue on the wing and kind of get it gluing together, and then I'll put it in place and kind of clamp it in place with the screws and the mounts, and then that'll make it fit up better, I believe. And that'll go there. Okay, well there's my test fit. Now we'll get to gluing. I chose to do the wing first because that way when I flip it over and do the tail surfaces, I figured it'd give it a little more stability. You can see here I used the foam that it came in as kind of a nice little holder, which works pretty well. So I'm going to use my welders. This is what, I don't know if you can still get that anymore, but this is what I use on all my foamies. I'm sure you can use CA or whatever people are using these days. So now we'll do this. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm kind of pushing the foam down a little bit because mine seemed not so flat here. The centers were touching first, so I'm kind of just compressing the foam a little bit on the middle section, and it seems to make the wings fit together a little better. Okay, I'm happy with that. You can see I compressed it in the centers. You can see they fit together a lot better. Hope you can see that. I'm trying to get my new studio set up here. Anyway, now we'll put the metal spar in, which it can slide too far in one side, not the other. You can kind of see where it's centered here. So I'll try to make a visual point of getting it centered in here, and just that way the same amount is in each side. Then you should be good to go. So now we'll get to gluing. I'm going to put a little bit in the spar hole. If there's any glue left in here that works. That will kind of help hold that into place. Okay, so there's that. Put that in. Yeesh, tape. Now we'll get this fitting in there. Okay, so there we've got that gluing. Now I'm going to want to put glue where these other bits go on. So obviously the front one will go on first. Looks like I got a little carried away with my glue. A little excessive here. None's coming out the top though, which is good. So we'll get this Y on here and poke that through the top. Okay, and then we'll get this back in place. Okay, good deal. Looking good so far. We'll get this baby on there and get the screws in place. And that should hold it perfectly while she's drying. Now I'll wipe off my excess glue. Make sure everything's kosher and centered. Get this off of here. There we go. Now we'll glue this piece on. Put a little extra glue down that seam. Probably don't need it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, now we'll put that belly skid deal on there, kind of a joiner, and we'll call her good for. I'll probably flip it over and just kind of eyeball that everything is looking kosher. Okay, next I'm going to stick the wingtips on because I just think they look cool. You can see they're airfoiled, so they're only going to go one way. Obviously you want to make sure that when it's right side up that everything is correct, so it's going to look great. So I'm going to glue those on right now. Okay, we got that. I just put a couple little licks of Foam Safe CA inside the tank tip itself, and then I just stuck them on there. So now we've got those on. Moving on to the tail. Okay, onto the tail. You're gonna need these pieces here. Always wiggle them a little bit to free them up. When I did the initial kind of bend, they did a little crunch just to free up the foam, you know what I mean? These little servos, you want things as easy as possible for them. So, little dry test fit. They do kind of pressure fit in there really nice to hold into place. Get it kind of centered, check it out. There's a body seam running down, so obviously you'll just line everything up, make sure it looks kosher. Next step will be, we'll take it off and then we'll glue it on. Okay, there's the gist of it. You notice on the second half I put the glue on the fuselage inside. That way when I push the piece down in, it doesn't all bubble out the top like the first one did. I don't know if you can see that from your angle. But anyway, makes it nice and clean. Looks pretty neat. There is the tail. Basically the plane's assembled, other than once the tail surface dries completely, then I'll hook the linkages up. So elevators have dried, so now we're going to install the ball links and stuff for the elevators. So that's really the final thing. These are both look to be about the same length, so it probably doesn't matter which side they go on. I'll do this side. I know you can't see it, but I'll do this side first. Need a little adjustment here. Of course, I see that servo is not perfectly square like the other one. So I'll get these both centered and get them to match. Get it straight up and down there. Now it probably will be close. You can see this one was a little further out. Bring it a little further out so it looks about right. A little more than that one. And we'll snap her down. There we go. Okay, that's done. Let me plug my battery in and bind it up, and then we'll be right back. We got it bound up and in there. See, the ailerons need to be adjusted a little. We got a little fine-tune adjustments we need to get done here, so the proper way would be to adjust it down on the servo. I'm gonna just manually adjust it. Well, I'm gonna adjust it in the radio here. Okay, doing some reading. The center of gravity as starting from the front, starting from the front here, going from here back, they say 70 millimeters. So there's your CG point, plus or minus 5 millimeters is what people are saying, which is fine. Throws, I found one person's recommended rates of high at 10 millimeters with 25% expo, a medium of 8 millimeters, 30% expo, and a low of 6 millimeters, 35% expo. So I'll get my measuring tool out, measure those out, and guess we'll find out. There we go. Okay. We've got all the throws set and everything. Here is your 10. The ailerons did good. They did about 10 millimeter on high right out of the gate. The elevators, the way I had them set up, did not. So what I ended up doing is I took the screws out and took the horn off the elevator servo, put it in the third hole in, and then I adjusted the linkages, zeroed everything out from what I did earlier so that they were equal, with a smidge of up, because that seems like to be pretty typical. And then I adjusted it. I still had to adjust it down 75% on the dual rates to get the right amount of throw. Excuse me, buddy. But anyways, this is what your 10 millimeter looks like. It ain't very much, but that's how it's going to work. Next, I just got to figure out the balance. I have a 1300 in there now, and I've also got an A-Spec 1800 3S to try in here. So we'll figure out the balance from there. With the 1300, I'm coming up quite a bit tail heavy. With the 1800, I'm a lot closer to where it should be. And then my receiver, I'm probably just going to poke. Let me get some Velcro and kind of stick it in the back side of this section here. Something like this, if you can see that. So anyways, the next thing will be heading out to the field and going for that maiden. So it literally took nothing to build, as you can see from this video. So I like it. Whoops. And I'm already throwing parts. So anyways, you can see the little magnets there on the hatch, stick the hatch down. So there you go. It's a great looking airplane. I'll get some close-up shots here, and then we'll head out to the flying field whenever the rain quits.